are. Welcome back to Colombo and Katie on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Katie, it's not usually us that are the ones getting surprised. We're usually pulling the surprises on folks. But if you are watching on the cameras, you will see that Mark Klose and Skip Weber are not on the phone with us today. They are in studio, and Katie and I had no idea they were coming down. And Mark, it's okay to see you. Skip, it is great to see you, buddy.
Well, it's great to see all three of you, to be quite honest with you.
Dude, yes, I can't even begin to imagine at this point. So yeah,
I don't want to, I don't want to bring down the room and start with a heavy emotional topic, but obviously, people have been contacting me and reaching out to us, and I'm sure, by the thousands reaching out to you, Skip, and your family for the tragedy that happened on Monday morning with the house fire.
Yeah, it's a really bizarre thing to even explain and talk about. I
can't imagine.
I got to kind of hold it together emotionally because there's sadness in it, but then the emotional support we've received is also so huge that it's just amazing. But yeah, so at 1:55 a.m. on Sunday or Monday morning,
Sunday night,
my phone starts going off crazy. Dogs are barking. My wife and I get up and I say, "What is that?" There's outside of our bedroom, there's a door out into the deck, and there's bright red on the other side of the door. And my wife just goes, "Our house is on fire!" And that, so we open the door. The dogs run toward. Open the door to the bedroom. The dogs run for it. I grab the clothes that are next to my bed. My wife grabs her clothes, and she grabs her jewelry. She's got 3 breakaway shelves, that we use to transport it or whatever. But she grabs that quick. I grab a pair of glasses. No shoes or nothing. We run outside, stark naked, putting clothes on.
Jeez.
Dogs are up in the front of the house. They ran past the door.
No.
We don't have time to go back in them. It's already full of smoke, glasses exploding everywhere.
Wow.
And the house burned to the ground. I mean, the fire department got there by it was I got it all on the phone from our security system. It was 1:54 with the first alarm. The fire department was there before 2.
wow.
And
yeah, that's how fast.
Oh,
it goes.
yeah, and I have pictures here I can show you at 2:05 with the whole place is engulfed.
Oh my God!
And honestly, there's just a lot of lessons and people to just tell people, okay, smoke detectors are great and valuable. If this January we added this security system that takes smoke detectors, it takes glass breakage, it takes burglary stuff. We'd never had something like that. We put it there, so all those alarms go to my phone.
Mm-hmm.
If we'd have waited for the smoke detectors to get to our bedroom and wake us up, we don't make it.
That's incredible.
Because we had
It was the
minutes
phone.
to spare.
It was the phone that woke you
The
up.
phone woke us up. Minutes to spare to get out, and that minutes of waiting for the smoke to get upstairs, we wouldn't have made it. And so we live alone. Our kids are all grown, so. But it's surreal. I mean, there's so much stuff.
The pictures
memories.
were all over the news, and I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of people have seen them, and
So
it's
We
unbelievable.
called our kids, and you know where I live in town, and not everybody does, but you know where I live. My daughter could see the flames from 255.
Oh,
Wow.
And so that's the firemen told us it definitely started on the outside because it's just how big the flames were. You can tell if it's burning from the inside out, the flames don't get that high. It was burning from the outside in and coming in.
Wow.
And so, they could see it from 255, and that's just,
gosh.
That's
So-
that's
Oh,
unbelievable. And as you mentioned, if there is one sort of uplifting part of this, it is the support that has been sent to you and your family. It's been, just what I've gotten from people that have, just because they know that we're friends, reaching out to me and saying, can you please pass along to Skip that we're thinking about him and praying. It's
unreal. And I got to start with first of all, let me start with that God is good. God did this, God saved us, okay? And we feel, Lori and I and my kids, we've felt all along that we're supremely blessed, and we give him glory to it and all that. And I do think that his hand was in, keeping us safe and getting us out of there. Whatever the timing was, nobody else was there, whatever, and they we did, like I said, we lost the 2 dogs, and that's heartbreaking. And but our 3rd dog did make it out. But then the Columbia Volunteer Fire Department,
wow,
is unbelievable, unbelievable men. I mean, our neighbors are all up at 2:00 with us, and they stayed up all night, and kept. I feel bad for all the guys in the neighborhood because they kept trying to bring me shoes that would fit, and nothing would fit, and I'm walking around barefoot outside, and everybody's. I said, I'm good, guys. I don't, I'm not. And I kept feeling so bad because people were trying to help. I
was going to say, unless Bozo the Clown lived in your neighborhood. When you're 6'8", you got some big feet on you. Yeah.
And,
Skip, it goes to show you what you and your family, your dad, your grandfather, what you guys have built
in this
company,
in this community.
The impact, the Weber Chevrolet. It's a part of the community. What, over 110 years, right? I mean,
120. Yeah, this is 120th year.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable that you guys have done that. And we talk about it when we do this segment every week, and we talk about the dealerships, and we talk about the service departments, and we talk about how, the best rated Chevy dealer in the Midwest. It's not BS. It's because that's what you've built. That's what your family has built. And that, I think, is why you've seen such
and we have such good people too. I mean, the employees, we feel like family, and it's just and it's hard on them, and we've got employees that want to help and do stuff. And I've told people in the last couple of days, I said, look, I'm not saying you can't help us. I just don't need any help right this second. Right. I'm going to need help with a lot of stuff for the next few months.
Sure.
And so just don't worry. We'll let you, step up and do whatever you can and do. So, it's just in the little small miracles, dude. It's unbelievable. We recovered both Lori and I's laptop. Okay.
Wow.
Doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
And my IT guy, who's a brilliant genius, he's in Hawaii. He left for Hawaii for vacation on Sunday. So those laptops are sitting there ready. But we're going to hope to recover data from the hard drive. But some people. Some of our employees we've already got us a couple laptops, so we have access to email and stuff like that. And so we got some of that, and then Monday, the fire's out, but there's still little, how fires like that, there'll be still something burning underneath you don't even know, still smoldering.
Yeah.
So they were looking for stuff, and Chevrolet had given my dad and mom Chevrolet stamped Rolexes in the '80s.
Oh,
they're like priceless, okay? And my mom and dad gave them to Lori and I.
Completely irreplaceable.
They found them.
That's
kidding.
Yeah. We haven't found a lot, but they found those. They found those
amazing.
2 things.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That is
And it's sitting
truly
there.
Yeah.
And mine, the men's one is charred in black because we had them in these little cases.
Sure.
And it was actually broken. I had to take that in anyway. It's an old thing. I was going to have to. But Lori's was in this case, and you open it, it looks like nothing's happening, and it's ticking.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
wow.
And so there's some other things. Like I said, she got her jewelry out. Our garage mainly made it. About 9:00 in the morning, I found a pair of tennis shoes from in the garage. I was able to get shoes on like that. So there's some stuff there. And there's some things in a couple other rooms. You guys have been to my house. The one room on the end that's round, that's the new part. That's that we built that, the house is 22 years old, but that part's only 8 years old. That almost is like a firewall because it's not connected by the basement.
Oh, okay.
So there's concrete and the pool storage room with all the towels and stuff in it, completely intact.
Wow.
It's wet because of the water on it, but nothing burned in there.
My goodness.
Wow.
So there's some stuff in there, but it's just
it's stuff, man.
It's
stuff.
I know.
You and Lori are here, and
you're
everything
right.
else
You're right.
with everybody you know.
But it's just
I know,
weird.
but it's that's like you said.
Believe me,
absolutely more. And what Tony, what you were talking about too, about how the people in the community with Skip, they're doing the story in the morning on TV, and they got the fire chief, whatever it is, and the house is in the background smoldering, and the first thing the chief is talking about is what a great guy Skip is. Did you see this story? He goes, "We all know Skip, and he's done a ton for this community, and what he's done." And it's true, man.
Yes.
And it's like everything. You know what? Forget about all the other stuff. We'll take care of that. It's
You're
going to
here.
take time,
Yeah.
but we're going to take care of it. You're with us.
You're here.
Lori's with us.
It's an all-volunteer department, and we've known some of those guys since we moved to Columbia in '92. We've known some of those guys for 30 years.
Yeah.
And it was just rough watching them walk around fighting the fire, crying.
Oh, yeah. No, and
You
I mean,
know,
that's the
and,
first thing the guy
helping
said.
us out, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first thing. So,
And they were sitting there in tears. You know, 'cause yeah.
Skip, you mentioned how you mentioned that we've been to your house. We go every year, and I told you this in December. My daughter, my oldest daughter, who lives in Orlando now, is working at Disney World. It was important to her. She moved her schedule and was like, I want to make sure that I go to Skip's Christmas party because it's a tradition in her life.
right.
It's part of her.
The holidays. It's
So
part of the
when I
holidays.
had to tell her what happened in Orlando, she's not part of your family but it impacted her. Just the reach that your family has in this community is incredible.
And welcoming everybody into your home. I mean, Skip, you've done that for so long. You've made all of us a part of that.
And that's
with
so
you.
much my wife Lori too.
yeah,
though.
you
know
and
how she is. I mean,
Lori.
Yes.
Yes, Lori
she's-
deserves.
Yes,
Yeah,
she's
all the
Recognition,
credit.
yeah.
Yes,
I know.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
so-
that's one of the first things when I've seen the footage and everything. My first thought was, how many Christmas trees did you lose? Because you'd go to their house, and I remember the last time we were there, they said, "What do you got? 20?" He goes, 20? He goes, those are up by Thanksgiving. I don't know, you guys. I mean, this is like
I
a
think we had
forest burning.
there was a
30,
lot of
33.
memorabilia lost.
33,
Unfortunately.
But most of the trees,
Yeah.
especially the big ones,
Yeah.
are in a storage building.
No,
Oh,
that's good.
okay.
That's
But
good.
it's all the decorations, though.
Sure.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
and
that's
there
the thing. Yeah,
there was a
yeah.
lot of
and the
decorations,
ornaments,
so-
all that. So
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
We've got that. We have to still kind of sort through what we have in storage buildings and stuff. Like some of, did it erase all of our kids' memories in past?
Right.
Well, some of their stuff is in those storage buildings, so
Good.
that's good.
Good. Good.
But I mean, pictures and
Sure.
well, and the other thing is I just go, my gosh, my guitars, my guitar memorabilia. We can't replace
You
them.
had a ton of great
and I
memorabilia.
think I told you the joke before, and I don't mind being a little bit jokey about some of this
Right.
because you got to survive with
got
humor.
to.
You got to.
So
got to.
but I used to tell people, hey, if this place is ever on fire, save the cream guitar.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I said, the first thing you do, save the cream guitar. Well,
So,
Okay, so that
I
came
gotta
too.
ask you.
And
So I
if-
gotta ask you. Did it cross your mind?
no, not at the time. I was worried. We were worried about the dogs, and
Sure.
But yeah, it would, and that's, I'll tell you, probably too early. It crossed my mind because, like you said, it's stuff.
Right.
And so I said, there's different times when you can't do anything. When I'm sitting there, so guilty that I'm worried about the stuff we're losing.
Yeah.
Right.
And it makes you feel guilty, but it's
Right.
just
I
memories.
mean, that
yeah,
timeline you
yeah.
just gave.
Memories.
Yeah,
That
I know,
timeline you
I know.
just gave proves
Yeah.
the point that you
Yeah.
didn't have.
No,
You didn't have a
time.
second to spare.
no,
Right,
no.
right.
We were done.
Before
Yeah, we're
we run out of time, I want to make this segment about me for a second. So,
done. That's all right.
So what's new about that?
so I was in like bizarro world because I was extremely sick, and I don't get sick, Katie. No, like I don't.
Never.
I think that was the first day I've called in sick since this station started.
Yeah, in like 2 years.
And a stomach bug was going through our house. James had it. He gave it to me. I gave it to Christine. So that morning, I started getting very sick and could not leave the bathroom starting at about 4 a.m. So I'm dehydrated, exhausted, delirious. And now all of a sudden, my phone, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and my phone's going crazy because of what's going on. I mean, it was the most, I'll never forget how it all unfolded because it was just so bizarre that the way it was happening for what I was going through and obviously what you were going through, but it was just absolutely bonkers,
Right.
bizarro world
Yeah.
that this is the way it all happened.
And then you remember what I told you in the first after you asked me?
Dude, greatest one-liner in the history of the
Yes.
world. Do you know it, Mark? Do you know what he said?
Yes, I know. Joe told me.
So
No, I don't.
Yes.
Let me know.
So I see this is all happening, and I send Skip a text just to let him know that thinking about him, and first thing he says is, "FYI, 4th of July party's canceled." And Mark Mark, I honestly didn't know. I thought he was joking, but I was like, he could also just be in shock right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he could just be delirious. It's the middle of the night. His house. So like, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And then he lets it sit for like 30 seconds, just perfectly, and then he texts back, "You got to try humor sometime." And I was like,
that's the way you survive, man.
What kids should
survive with humor.
I threw my hands in the air. I was like, that is the greatest timed joke in the history
that was pretty strong. That was because I got to be honest. I'm watching the news and I'm thinking I already had it penciled in on my calendar, 4th of July at Weber's. I'm like, now what? Now what am I going to do?
Well, Skip, as I said, we've said before, and I know that you've heard this from a lot of people, but you're part of our family. You're part of the Colombo family. You're part of the NewsTalkSTL family.
Yes.
And anything that we can do to help you and Lori, you've done so much for us. You've done so much for this community. You guys, if there's anything that we can do to help, please let us know.
Number one is your guys' friendship has been it's invaluable to us, and it means everything. I mean, every text for 3 days, people will get a text or a call, and we'll both start crying about it. I can't believe they would say and it's just dude, when Chris Arps wished me, and the next thing you know, Burgess Owens is calling us. Yeah. And I go, I can't believe. I mean, what the heck? It's just it just makes us start bawling. I don't know. It's just.
But it's because of what you've done.
Well, I get. I appreciate that.
It's not. I mean, sure, we're all wonderful people, but it's the way that you've touched this community. You, your dad, your grandpa, your whole your family. The company that you built and how you've treated customers and how you've supported. I always talk about how you're such a big part of the local music scene with all the shows that you
Songs for Soldiers and all the sponsors.
I told Kevin Gagnapan yesterday. I texted him. I said, "Dude, we need some El Monstero T-shirts."
Yeah.
I don't have any T-shirts, man. Can you get me some El Monstero merchandise?
And he's like, "So you're
and Lori goes, I need my tank top. I need my El Monstero tank top back." So it's just
very nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, but that's humorous, but also, yeah, man, I need to start replenishing my T-shirts. Okay, I got to start getting some clothes again.
It's a good excuse to start memorabilia and everything from scratch.
Yeah,
man.
That's right.
Let's go.
That's right. We'll get it back.
Well, I am. It was really cool that you guys surprised Katie and I and are actually here in studio with us today. And it's always nice to see you, Mark, but it's really great to see you, Skip.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys for
and
being here.
I walked and saw Joe when I came in today, and he said, Skip, don't worry, he's going to cover parking today. Because
Gotcha.
I don't even know how that works.
Well, it doesn't work very much around here, I'll tell you that.
All right, that's Mark Klose and Skip Weber. This is Klose's Kabinet. We do this every Wednesday, and once again, Skip, we've all got your back, and we love you.
Thank you, man.
And we love your family.
Here, you know what? We can feel that too. Believe me.
Good. I hope
we
so.
can feel that.
I hope
yeah.
so. I
know that.
And it's not one of those things that you say to somebody when they're going through a tough time. No. We truly mean if there's anything that we can do to help, please.
And don't forget, God is good, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Amen.
God is
Absolutely.
good. Yeah, it's you praise him in the storm. That's when it matters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for Colombo and Katie today. Back tomorrow at 2:00. Don't go anywhere. The Tim Jones and Chris Arps show starts in just a moment here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.